What a game. And if you didn't think that Tyrese Maxey was a star, now you know. Tyrese Maxey saved the Philadelphia 76ers season with some heroics. Bright lights, big stage, hostile environment, Madison Square Garden. And the Sixers live to see another day. Philadelphia, in dramatic, improbable fashion, wins Game 5 on the road, 112-106. And we're going to have a Game 6 back at the Wells Fargo Center with the Knicks seeing their lead in this series trimmed to 3-2. Maxey, sensational. 46 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists. It looked as though Philadelphia was dead in the water. And let's talk about the sequence here. The Sixers were down 96-90 at the end of the game with 28.2 seconds left after Miles McBride hit a mid-range jumper. Philadelphia in the fourth quarter was terrible. There was offensive indecision just like we saw in Game 4. There were turnovers like we just saw in Game 4. And they were letting this game slip right out of their grasp. And in another big moment, they were just collapsing under the pressure in New York City. But then what happens? Tyrese Maxey was a magician just like he was in Game 2. And even though the officials took that star-studded game away from Maxey in Game 2, he didn't let that happen in Game 5. Sixers down by 6, 28.2 ticks. Nick Nurse has to call the timeout. Has to try to gather his team together to make something happen. Maxey comes down the floor. He gets Mitchell Robinson to jump up in the air, hits a 3 and the foul to make it a 96-94 game. Massive 4-point play. And then the Sixers fouled Josh Hart after trying to force a turnover with 15.1 seconds left. He goes 1 of 2 from the line. That makes it 97-94. Still hope, but still the odds are against you. Maxey comes down, and from 34 feet, from the Knicks logo, makes it rain, cashes in, deposits the trifecta, bang, we're tied, 97-97. And then credit to Nick Batum. He has had to draw the very difficult assignment of guarding Jalen Brunson, who was still excellent in this game. Brunson comes back and could have handed the Sixers another devastating blow, and he blocks the shot. So we go to OT. And then in the overtime period, Maxey good once again. Embiid, to his credit, solid. I thought Embiid's attitude, his body language, once again when facing adversity, was a joke. Now, Embiid's greatness still on display because even when he played so awfully, still had a triple-double. But from down 96-90 to this final score, the Sixers outscored the Knicks in the final 28 ticks and in the 5 minutes in overtime by a score of 22-10. And all of that lack of late game execution flipped on its head, and in turn has the momentum shifted in this series. Because Philadelphia has now won 2 of the last 3 games. Every game in this series up to this point has been extremely close and down to the wire. And the odds are still against Philadelphia here, but they still have a chance. They are still kicking. All thanks to the best player on the Philadelphia 76ers. And that, ladies and gentlemen, from now and moving forward, is the player who the Sixers need to build around and keep in mind is Tyrese Maxey. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel because if you sub, the Sixers pick up dubs. We're so close to 15,000 subscribers. If you want free Sixers coverage year-round, hit that sub button. Can the Sixers come back from 3-1 win Game 6 and win Game 7. Let's talk about it here coming up next. First, our postgame show, sponsored by Prize Picks, making daily fantasy sports easy. $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS. You pick 2 or more players, you choose more or less on their projected stats, and you can win big-time money and withdraw your winnings all within the Prize Picks app. Our selections for this game, the Taco Tuesday special, and Prize Picks likes to have a lot of specials, was 21.5 points for Tyrese Maxey. Cha-ching. Tobias Harris, more than 19.5 points, rebounds, and assists. To his credit, Tobias Harris was awesome. 19 points, 8 rebounds, 1 dime. Cha-ching. Isaiah Hartenstein, less than 19 points, rebounds, and assists. 6 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Cha-ching. OG Anunoby, more than 6.5 rebounds. He had 6. But that's what makes Prize Picks great. And you don't have to get all 4 right all the time. You can opt for insurance plays where you can go 3 out of 4. $100 deposit match, prizepicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS. Sign up today. Pick more, pick less, and pick Prize Picks today. What can you say about Tyrese Maxey? Tyrese Maxey was just terrific. And Joel Embiid has mentioned this a couple of times, that when we face adversity and when we're playing poorly, when we're down and out, there's this history of this organization that looms over our heads, a dark cloud that is lingering. But then we look at Tyrese, and he's always smiling. He's always upbeat, always has positive energy. And he just willed the Sixers to a win. Since his rookie year, I've been saying, this kid has it. Going into year 2, he can make a leap. Going into year 3, another leap. Going into year 4, can he make the Jamal Murray-like leap? And can he be the Jamal Murray to the Jokic that is sometimes Joel Embiid? Because Jokic is better. That leap has happened. And it's happened all year long. It's happened over the last 4 years. It's occurring right before our very eyes. In the words of Biggie, if you don't know, now you know. If you didn't know that Tyrese Maxey was a star, a bona fide star, now you know. All throughout this series, he has been outstanding. And how about what he's done at MSG? Game 2, similar performance, honestly, to what he did here in this Game 5. And for him, when the Sixers looked as though they're going to lose this game, to maintain hope, you want some inspiration in your life? Are you trying to dig down deep and figure out how to maintain positivity when things aren't going your way? Look no further than Tyrese Maxey. Down by 6, under 30 ticks to go. He still believes that the Sixers can win this game. And they won it because he put on the book bag straps. He told everybody to get in. And he carried the load. As for Joel Embiid, not a good performance. I'm not even kidding you. I think he looked 70% max physically in this game. Can the knee hold up for 2 more games? Can he turn back the clock and have a Game 6 like he did a Game 3 where he dropped 50? It's going to need to go to the line a lot to do that. Knicks fans were against him. They were booing. Embiid was not good. He had 9 turnovers in this game. Got flustered by the double teams. Reverted back to early in his career when he could not make a good decision when getting double teamed. 19, 16, and 10 on a bad night. On a bad knee. 7 of 19 from the floor. Not good. 1 of 4 from 3. He did have a couple of clutch buckets late in this game, though. Got to give him credit for that. And the 2-man game between Embiid and Maxey was really, really good. And got to talk about Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is the most overpaid $36 million per year player that I've ever seen in sports for what he's given Philadelphia. The last 5 years have been difficult to watch and get through together. He showed up tonight. Sixers don't win this game without him. 19 points, 8 boards, 7 of 11 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3. He, too, hitting a couple of clutch buckets. Now, as we shift gears to Game 6, and Chip, you can get your mic ready here. You've had Jalen Brunson in 3 consecutive games look like the superstar that he is. He is playing right now, and I would consider and deem him to be a top 5 player in the game. 40 points, 15 of 32, 4 of 11 from the three-point stripe, 6 assists. He's so good at just lulling defenders to sleep, leads the NBA in dribbles. You certainly see it, but there's a reason behind that. He dribbles so much to get to his spot, to create some separation, to bait you into a foul. Is he due for a clunker? Because he's been so great the last 3 games after he was terrible in the first 2 games. Can you force him into a slump in Game 6? So you look ahead, and Chip made the good point. Every game in this series has been tight. Every game has come down to the wire. Literally. As easy as this series was 3-1 going into the night, Knicks, and is 3-2 Knicks, it could have been 3-1 Sixers and 3-2 Philadelphia. The Sixers have now won 2 of their last 3. We have seen them, like the end of the year in that winning streak, win 3 games in a row. 1 game at a time. They've won 1. Now they need to get 2 more. And can you avoid having Knicks fans take over the joint for Game 6? All going to be storylines going into this game. And I can't wait for it. I know that we're probably going to get hurt once again because winning 3 consecutive games against the Knicks is very, very difficult. But Thursday night, we're back for a Game 6.
Woo!
Chip, your thoughts?
It's going to be something, man. Look, obviously it took a huge night, a sensational night, a career night for Maxey tonight to win this game. But I thought for a large part in the fourth quarter, I didn't like the Sixers execution. It seemed like they were fumbling another one down the stretch, like they have pretty much all series long, where their fourth quarter offense goes cold. Maxey saves the season. Overtime doesn't start out great. They go down early in overtime, but they work their way back. And I like specifically what Nick Batum was able to do against Jalen Brunson at the end of the game. No one in the Sixers can guard Jalen Brunson. I want to make that abundantly clear.
Yeah, that was a concern going into the series.
There's nobody. Batum, Oubre, Lowry, Maxey, nobody can guard him. But Batum had the big block at the end of regulation, and he had the great closeout, the great contest at the end of overtime that made Brunson pass the ball away and turn it over.
Yeah.
So I want to give shout-outs to Batum because that was tremendously clutch for the Sixers. Look, moving forward to win these 2 games, it's going to be hard. We know this. It's going to take more from Embiid. Now, defensively, he was still great.
Yeah.
And was rebounding the ball a lot better than he has. Still doesn't get a lot of lift on offense or defense side of the ball. He's going to have to play better. There's no doubt about it. The Sixers cannot win another game where he has, 19 and shoots that poorly. It's just not going to happen. But if you can continue to get this type of production from Tobias Harris, and if you can get a better game from Oubre, who missed a couple of point-blank layups in this game, especially late, and you can continue to get decent contributions from Batum. Look, I don't think only Jalen Brunson can beat the Sixers. They did a decent job on the other guys. You know, McBride had his moments, especially that shot late. Josh Hart was once again solid, but if the Sixers are playing their best ball, which they've only played in spurts, they can take this series. They really can. But it starts on Thursday. You cannot let the Knicks crowd take over at the Wells Fargo Center. Just can't.
Sixers ownership, limit the ticket sales within the Philadelphia region. They try to gas every dollar that they can out of the tank. Can't let it happen. Can't let it happen. And turn it into not a pro-Knicks crowd, but a loud Knicks crowd. Shouldn't even have to have this conversation. It's honestly embarrassing. It really is. But look, there's optimism for the Knicks. There's been pessimism for the Sixers. They've done nothing but choke. Can they reverse that attitude for the entire city and entire fan base by winning 3 games in a row? That's how you do it. That's how you get Sixers fans back on your side. And then you set up a second-round series with the winner of Indiana-Milwaukee. And it's funny, I'm watching Patrick Beverley right now. Imagine the job he could have done on Jalen Brunson in this series. Now, Patrick Beverley, Kyle Lowry offensively. Not much of a difference at this point of their careers. I love Kyle Lowry. I want to see him back. The defensive tenacity, the headiness that he has, even though he's made some dumb decisions, ironically enough, in this series. It's hurt. Would like to see what maybe Beverley could have done. I'd say Lowry probably the better addition for this team, but thinking about that, watching this game right now. One game at a time. We're not going to be like New York fans and celebrate this game as if we won the NBA Finals, because there is still work to be done. Your one-word reaction to this Sixers win for me, Maxey. We'll see you in Philadelphia, Game 6. Let's ride.